He said, hey, everybody. He said, hey, everybody. Say hello, Django. You saying hello, Django? He said, why would I say hello, Django? I'm Django. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Shooting with Yankee. As always, I'm Yankee, so let's start shooting. Today's topic is one of those ones that make you go, ew, because it's what do you see people do with guns that makes you cringe? Now, this could be a lot of different things. It could be something that's damaging to the gun, like slamming that cylinder hole and spinning it and slamming it shut in a revolver. Or I've seen people take mallets and try to pound the slide release back into a 1911. Or it could be something dangerous, like I once saw someone at the range use their sight on the gun to scratch the middle of their back while we were on a live range. It could be people appendix carrying, whatever. There's all kinds of things. Like I'll share one example here. That's not really my answer to this because there's one thing I hate even more so than this. But one time I was at the range and the guy next to me was practicing that using their belt and their rear sight to rack their slide to fire shots. And I was like, could you please not do that? And he's like, well, you can't, blah, blah, blah. I was like, because you could fucking have a negligent discharge doing that. And even if you don't shoot yourself, this is a concrete floor. It might bounce up and hit me in the balls. And I'd rather not be shot by you because you're doing some stupid fucking tacti-tard shit. So that was pretty bad. That made me cringe, made me scared. But I think the most cringe thing I see people doing is you see these people practicing these fast draw things on the internet. They're like, all right, I'm going up to something and I'm standing like face to face with it. And then I'm like backing up and drawing and shooting. And then I'm slamming my gun back in, spinning around and getting back up and then backing up and drawing and starting to shoot. And I'm like, you're slamming your gun back into an appendix holster, a striker fired gun while still loaded. It would take next to nothing for you to seriously injure yourself. In that moment, when you're practicing for that fast draw situation, you're probably 1,000 times more at risk of dying from a gunshot wound than you would be if you were in the worst alley in the middle of the night in Detroit, Michigan, or St. Louis. And the threat's coming from yourself to yourself. So it's even stupider. So that's the most cringe thing I see people do, that fast draw, fast reholster, fast draw again and shoot without emptying the fucking gun, because that is dangerous to you. And I think that's one of the most cringe things I ever see. But there's some other stuff in this chat that I saw coming in that I almost changed my answer to that. So let's get over here to the actual incoming chat, see what other people have to say. John Heasley said, I'm not reading this first one because it doesn't have anything to do with the chat. He said, appendix carry, my son-in-law does, makes me cringe. Yeah, I think it always makes me cringe watching someone appendix carry, especially if I see it, like if they're openly appendix carrying. Because then I'm like, well, why are you carrying appendix if you're openly carrying? Because the reason they say do it, because it seals better, but you're open carrying. And you can see it's like a Glock or an M&P. It's a striker-fired fucking gun. And I'm like, you got one in the chamber? Well, you're pointing a loaded gun at your dick. That's breaking one of the 4 rules of carrying, of guns, period. Ramon D. 1776 says, why Phil is cringe. I don't understand what he's saying there. I'll be the first to admit I have no clue. Maybe that's Spanish. I don't know. Or would that be Italian, Ramon? That could be both, I guess, wouldn't it? Couldn't it be both? I don't know what he's saying there. Maybe it's hipster jargon that I'm not familiar with. Sporterizing milsurps is cringy. I will say I don't think it's good taste, but I don't know about it. Doesn't really make me cringe. It just makes me go, okay, you didn't get enough attention as a child. What's wrong with you? Johnny Mandrick said, hand a too large gun to a person like a 12 gauge to a kid or a small woman. Yes, that was when I saw it. I'm like, oh yeah, what's this going to be funny? She's going to plant this in her forehead. Or my 6-year-old's going to plant my shotgun. It's going to knock him on his ass. I'm like, what is fucking wrong with you? no one hug you when you were growing up? I know that because no one hugged me when I was growing up. But well, we got hugs up until we were like 6, and then that kind of went away. Then it was no physical, no physical touch, no expressions of emotion. We didn't do that. We were loud, we were boisterous, we yelled at each other a lot. But as far as like hugging and stuff, yeah, once you got a certain age, that didn't happen anymore. Practical Bacon says my family's love language was, "Are you hungry?" Appendix carry and insist it's the best is the most common one. Only seen it once, but saw someone carry in their back pants pocket. Oh, yes, I've seen that. Not a holster or nothing. Just had a LCP in their back pocket. And then wanted to tell me. I was like, don't tell me. This is sad, but it goes on the topic. Go Shadow says, my dad passed at 2:20 a.m. today. Cringiest thing done to guns is something done to a gun by E Honda. That's got to be up there. That is one that the E Honda's got to be up there. Edgar Cortez, dry firing revolvers and semi-autos. See, I don't mind dry firing as long as it's a gun that can handle it, or you got snap caps. But little guns, it's sometimes a problem. Like I broke the firing pin on a little gun once because they're like, don't fire these little guns like it. I'm like, well, it should come with that on. And then they say it does. It does say that in the instructions. Don't try fire this gun. And they were right. It does. Adam Jacobis, that was Edgar Cortez a minute ago. Adam Jacobis says, new shooter at the range that don't follow the 4 rules of gun safety and wave the gun around with their finger still on the trigger. Like those guys in that were posing with it. And the other guy's like, oh, I'm pointing it at you. And the range officer comes over and is like, you're all done. You're leaving. So since we've been able to share things on the internet, you get to see a lot more stupid shit at ranges. And I'll tell you, I've left a lot of ranges before because of stuff people were doing. I'm just like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this. That was Adam Jacobis. And then we got Heavy J. Heavy J said, shh. Yes, I know Caden's leaving. Django's let me know Caden's leaving. Heavy J said, spinning the cylinder, press check, John Wick style. Okay, I don't know what a John Wick style press check is because I've never seen the John Wick movies because one of you assholes told me they kill his dogs at the beginning, so I never watched the movie. You should have told me they killed his daughters or his kids or something at the beginning. Then I'd be like, okay, I'll watch that. But now that I know they kill his dogs, I'm not doing it. Django, hush. We got, speaking of hugs, we got Boss Hug, who said, flagging everyone at the range. Yep. Speaking of flag, I mean, I don't even like it when someone does it to me at the gun shop. Like I've had someone before aiming guns at me at the gun shop, like practice, like I try to get a sight picture. And I'm like, don't do that with me. I don't say anything because I'm like, it's not dangerous. It's not loaded or anything. But it makes me feel antsy. It makes me cringe a little bit. So it's not, although I know it's a me problem and I'm not going to worry about it. But I'm like, well, what if that was their own gun that they were doing that with? So I don't know that it's the store's gun, not necessarily. Edgar Cortez again said, I saw a highly educated person almost pull the trigger on a Glock 26 with his thumb directly behind the slide. Fortunately, I was able to stop him and show him how to properly hold the gun. I've seen people want to go make that mistake before. Or I saw a woman one time put a Beretta up to her eye about this close when she was trying to aim down the sights. And I was like, you might not want to do that. You know, part of me was like, oh, we're about to see someone learn a lesson. But then the other part of me is like, I don't want to clean up her blood. So I guess my good side won out. The good side that didn't want to clean up someone's blood. Fort Lawrence chimed in and says, cowboy, flip closed the revolver cylinder. I especially hate that. I especially hate when they spin it first and then they do it. I'm like, are you just trying to destroy your cylinder stop and everything? I mean, what is your problem? But that was Fort Lawrence that just said that. And then lastly here, we got, what is this? What is she talking about? I don't know what she's talking about. Oh no. Welper wants to be in the jerk circle. That's scary. It's scary. Oh, maybe he won't turn his camera on. But we got Paul B is the last person weighing in here, and they said, "Hail Phil, swinging the cylinder close." That seemed to be a common one today. Yeah, that was a lot of people who like revolvers. You just don't. I've actually, I don't like to intervene on things at gun shops or anything like that, or get anybody's business. But I was standing at Sporting Systems one day, and someone was picking up the gun that they were buying it. So it's not like they were damaging something that was in the store. I'm sure the employees would have said something about that. But he's standing next to me, and he goes to spin the cylinder, and he goes to do this, and I literally put my hand on his gun. I mean, don't do that. I was like, that's one of the worst things you can do for your gun. You're going to destroy that gun. Don't do it. And I was like, it's kind of like instinct, how you like put your hand in front of your kid when you stop at your car. It was kind of like that. I did it before I even thought. And I was like, I'm getting involved in this guy's business and touching his stuff. Probably shouldn't be doing this, but fuck him. He's stupid. But all right, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for everybody for weighing in. I appreciate it, helping us along. Also, how about you out there in YouTube land? What's the cringiest thing you've seen? What is the stuff you see people do with guns that makes you cringe every time? Or maybe you just saw it once and it was extra cringy. Let me know in the comments section below. And if you want to weigh in on one of these topics, come into our live chats. We do live chats every day at 6 p.m. So come on in, be part of the conversation, whatever the topic is, and then stick around for the open chat afterwards and talk about whatever you want, because that is open chat. And also twice a week, we're going to start doing a jerk circle where a bunch of jerks get together in a circle and we talk about guns. We're going to try our first one here right after this chat. So stay tuned for it. Otherwise, I hope to see everybody again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.